In this WrestleTalk news, an AEW star has seemingly left the company. Cody Rhodes' contract has expired and he's now a free agent. What? News on Bryan Danielson and Britt Baker in AEW and more. Subscribe and enable notifications to always on for daily wrestling news videos.
Support WrestleTalk!
It's AEW heavy news today, and we're kicking it off with some good old contract expiration. Last week, Fightful Selective reported that several AEW contracts were due to expire soon, as it had been 3 years since their initial signings when AEW first launched. I don't think anyone quite thought that would include Executive Vice President of AEW, current TNT champion, and everyone's favorite wrestler, Cody Rhodes, though. And yet, Fightful Select reported last night that Cody's contract has indeed expired, and he is now currently a free agent. This isn't just his wrestling contract either, as they updated the report to confirm that they haven't heard of any other specific contract for his EVP duties, and that he has no contract with AEW at the moment. So, Cody Rhodes to WWE confirmed? Is he going to replicate the trash can segment from WCW with the TNT title? Probably not. Dave Meltzer commented on this report, noting on the Wrestling Observer boards that his AEW sources were avoiding him about the Cody story. So either it's true and they are all mad it's out, or it's a work and they don't want to lie to me. If this is all a work, it's wonderful stuff on AEW's part. And if you're thinking that there's no way Cody could leave AEW, Bryan Danielson and Johnny Gargano both left WWE last year, and they seem like surefire WWE lifers, so anything can happen in wrestling. You never know. One of the names mentioned in Fightful's initial report about AEW contracts expiring was Peter Avalon, who has taken to Twitter to announce that he's open for indie bookings, seemingly indicating that he's left AEW. However, according to Lever Bait in the replies to that tweet, he actually hasn't left AEW and is just adding indie bookings on top. But Avalon isn't the only one wanting to wrestle in other promotions. As on Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer noted that Bryan Danielson is very interested in working in a specific indie promotion. While that promotion was unnamed, Meltzer noted that it's in a market AEW haven't run yet, and they want Danielson to wrestle in that market for AEW first before he appears in other companies in the same market. Danielson has also recently shown interest in working with former Ring of Honor star Jonathan Gresham, noting in an interview with Justin Barrasso of Sports Illustrated that he didn't realize Bandido had been pulled from Ring of Honor's Final Battle main event against Gresham, saying that it would have been perfect for him to fill in. Jay Lethal faced Gresham instead, but can you imagine Danielson showing up unannounced? Hot damn. In other news, WWE has seemingly shown interest in signing current AEW Women's Champion Britt Baker, DMD. Baker confirmed as much herself, but noted that it was highly unlikely she'd be tempted across, saying you can't trust anything with that company. But with all this talk of people leaving AEW or working in other promotions, there's the lurking presence of WrestleVotes' report that WWE have a surprising Forbidden Door entrant for the Royal Rumble match. So who could it be? Cody Rhodes? Adam Cole? No one from AEW at all? Yeah, it's probably that one. According to a new report from Wrestling Observer, there will be no AEW involvement at the Royal Rumble. Well, that seems pretty conclusive. Cody Rhodes to WWE confirmed. Quickly as well, we'd like to extend our well wishes to Eddie Kingston, who will reportedly miss a few weeks of wrestling due to a fractured orbital bone he suffered on the latest tapings of AEW Dark. This means he will unfortunately miss GCW's show at the Hammerstein Ballroom. Now, before we get into Ollie's review of last night's episode of Raw, here's a quick word from today's sponsor.
Before we get on with the rest of the episode, I'd just like to say a huge thank you to this video's sponsor, IMI, the world's first low-carb, high-protein and 100% plant-based instant ramen, which you can get $5 off on your order now by going to imieats.com/jamthatjam, links in the video description below, or by using our code JAMTHATJAM at the checkout. I try to be super healthy about 5 times a year, but every attempt fails after 4 weeks because of the big health industry lie. It doesn't taste as good as unhealthy food. I don't care how many pictures you show me Instagram, toasted chickpeas aren't tasty. Thankfully, this is starting to change with companies like IMI. Healthy food, which is just as delicious as the non-healthy versions. IMI is low carb, with only 6 grams of net carbs per serving, 85% lower than other instant ramen brands. It has 21 grams of protein per serving, which is 3 times the amount of other brands, and actually the same as my protein powder. 18 grams of fiber, which is up to 4 times other brands, helping your gut do its thing, and that thing is the poops, and appropriately for Veganuary, despite having the delicious flavors of spicy beef, tom yum shrimp, and black garlic chicken, it's 100% plant-based and dairy-free. You can try them all now by clicking the link below and ordering a variety pack, which you get $5 off on your order, or by using our code JAMTHATJAM at the checkout. And if you don't like it, there's a 100% happiness guarantee, meaning you can get a full refund within 30 days of purchase. I can't recommend Immi enough. I'm so happy it's come into my life right now because it's such a convenient and healthy way to change my eating habits. Please click the link below, as every person who does also really helps support this channel too. Jam that jam, and noodle that noodle. Now it's time for my review of last night's Raw in about 5 minutes. Raw opened with the commentary team running down the night's big attractions, which I'm going to translate for you here in real speak. A career retrospective of Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar isn't here today. And Bobby Lashley versus Seth Rollins in our main event. A screwy DQ finish to end the show. Smarkiness aside though, I actually really enjoyed how sports entertainment-y this episode felt. There was a zany graduation ceremony, Vince McMahon threatened to text Austin Theory's mum, and oh my god, Maurice murdered Beth with a brick. But before all that, the bad stuff, aka Raw's women's division. The show opened on Big Time Bex cutting a promo, she makes stars, then beats them, which is a good line, which was interrupted by Doudrop, Bianca Belair and Liv Morgan, with the latter two declaring for the Royal Rumble, which then became a tag match. But how will title opponents Becky and Doudrop possibly function healthily while on the same team coexist? Shock they didn't. Becky man-slammed Liv after several minutes, and Doudrop took out her own partner Lynch and went for the pin herself like it was a fatal four-way. It wasn't. Forgetting she wasn't legal, awkwardly tagged herself in and hit a running splash for the win. The only other women's segment on the show was Rhea Ripley and Nikki, almost a superhero, almost having a match after they broke up last week, which never happened because Nikki beat up Rhea too much before the bell rang, which was lame. I suppose you could also add Maurice murdering Beth Phoenix in with the women's division stuff, even though it's more gender fluid than that. After sincerely congratulating Dana Brooke backstage for being the 24/7 champion, and am I going mad here? Is this a rib on women's equality? It's a joke belt based around Tamina having cheese on her face. Beth Phoenix confronted Maurice in the ring. Miz jumped Edge outside, distracting Beth long enough for Maurice to hit her in the back of the head with a brick. I don't know why Maurice needed a distraction to hit someone with a brick, but it's hard to ask too many questions when you're witnessing kayfabe attempted murder.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
It's a hard gear change for a fun intergender feud between a wedding last month and a birthday celebration skit announced for next week. I was worried with Seth Rollins being hot-shotted into a Roman Reigns match meant the end of the blossoming bromance with Kevin Owens. Thankfully, after KO was missing on last week's show, they were back together again on the Kevin Owens show, where KO declared for the Rumble, meaning he can face Seth at WrestleMania for the Universal title he'll win from Reigns. Their continued will they won't they turn on each other dynamic is one of the best things in WWE right now, but that could soon be replaced by a mouth-watering feud, Owens versus Damian Priest for the United States title. They had a terrific non-title match, which KO won by faking a knee injury. A very rare clean singles loss for Priest, not Damian. I am very into Owens winning the US title belt off of the back of this. Now it's time for our brand new segment, Where's Veer? This week on Veer's journey to Raw, he's stopped off at a beach. Can you find him? Comment down below with where you think he is, and I'll reveal Where's Veer in tomorrow's news. Thanks for your support on Patreon, The Cleaner Kenny Shah and Gavin Cash Money Kashiwabara. You can get your own shout out by going to patreon.com/WrestleTalk. Despite their shock win last week coming from out of nowhere in a lackluster way, Alpha Academy were thoroughly sports entertaining in their version of a title celebration, the graduation ceremony. Chad Gable got to channel the brilliance of goofy early Kurt Angle. Otis's natural zaniness almost broke through his anti-charisma gimmick. Riddle was at his stoner comedy best, and Randy Orton hit an RKO on Chad Gable from out of nowhere and posed in a graduation gown. 7 stars! They'll have an academic challenge next week, which I genuinely can't wait for. Vince McMahon threatened Austin Theory backstage that if he didn't beat Finn Balor, Vince was gonna beat him up so bad he'd bleed snot and take a selfie and send it to Austin's mum. Candice LeRae? Thankfully for Austin, Finn Balor is not a priority right now. and Theory beat him clean in minutes. I'm glad Austin has broken through the 3-week Bush barrier. It's just a shame it's come at Finn's expense. Amos squashed Reggie, so Amos is the 24/7 champion. The Mysterios and Street Profits beat the Dirty Dogs, Apollo Crews and Commander Aziz in an 8-man tag that had no right to be as fun as it was. The Profits posed in victory afterwards, but their Mysterio partners threw them over the top rope as a Rumble tease. And then Ray threw out his own son Dominic, and the Street Profits were like, you got us good, you guys, good one. And Dom was like, Dad, why don't you love me? While the career retrospective video package of Lesnar and Lashley was just a way to cover for Brock being too expensive to appear on every show, this was an incredibly well done vignette. WWE do promo editing better than anyone. They should definitely do these kinds of packages more often, as they are way more coherent than anything else that takes place on screen. Alexa Bliss got her second therapy session, revealing she didn't kill her psychiatrist last week. She got annoyed again when he implied Lily was imaginary. Oh, it was not imaginary, it was definitely real. I sat through months of that storyline, man. And the main event was Bobby versus Seth in a how can we not beat the challengers for our 2 top titles in the company 10 days before the pay-per-view match. The answer was, as usual with Bobby, random hurt business interference. They had a very good fast-paced back and forth match, but it was hard to invest when a screwy finish was so predictable. Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander attacked Bobby for the DQ, Lashley destroyed them both, while the Usos ran through the crowd and took out Seth. The booking was lame, but the Usos' appearance was cool, and it sets up some exciting prospects. Does Seth bring KO to SmackDown on Friday for revenge? And could we see Brock and Roman clash via Lashley and Rollins on the go-home shows next week? What did you think of Raw? Let me know in the comments. 75% of you voted for Maurice hit Beth with a freaking brick in our poll on a poll match on the community tab. Women's division booking aside, I found myself really enjoying the zaniness of this episode. Alpha Academy really stepped up, KO versus Priest and the main event were very good, and Maurice hit Beth in the back of the head with a brick. This week's Raw is 4 out of 5. Now go watch Adam's 10 best one-off Royal Rumble entrants ever.
We're looking at wrestlers who've only got 1 Royal Rumble appearance under their belt, but used that single go-around to either mark a big achievement, make an enduring memory, or simply have a laugh. And who doesn't love to laugh? I know I do. Ha ha ha. And the like. Anyway, I'm Adam, hailing from Parts Unknown, and here are our 10 best one-time Royal Rumble entrants.